Welcome to SAT Prep Thursday. Today we're doing College Board SAT Practice Test number 3, Part 4, numbers 1 through 19. This is a calculator section, so I will be using either a TI-30XS or a TI-30XA. Also, there's a file link in the description for this practice test. The graph above shows Marilyn's distance from her campsite during a 3-hour hike. She stopped for 30 minutes during her hike to have lunch. Based on the graph, which of the following is the closest to the times she finished lunch and continued her hike? Just by looking at the graph, we can see that these points right here, this is when she's really not changing her distance. It's remaining static. So this is the point in time that we're looking at. It's a bit before 2 o'clock, which C is the only answer that fits that. The table shows the distribution of age and gender for 25 people who entered a contest. If the contest winner will be selected at random, what is the probability that the winner will be either a female under the age of 40 or a male 40 or older? So females under 40 is 8 and males over 40 is 2, where the total number of people is 25. So we get to say 8 plus 2, the groups we're interested in if we get them, divided by the total number of who we have. Well, this is going to give us 10 over 25, and I don't even need to simplify it because B is the answer. The graph below shows the total number of musical album sales in millions each year from 1997 to 2009. Based on a graph, which of the following best describes the general trend in music album sales from 1997 to 2009? Well, if we understand that this is years since 97, so this is actually 1997, 98, 99, 2000, 01, 02, and what have you. So if we look at this and say sales generally increased each year since 1997, which was true in the beginning, but then it went on the decline, so it can't be A. Now, sales generally decreased each year since 1997, and that's not true because on an each year, there were years that it went up, then down, then stayed relatively the same, then went down again, so B is not an answer. Sales increased until 2000 and then generally decreased. So 2000 was right here. And it does look like they went on the increase generally. And while there is a stagnant point more or less, it overall is decreasing, means that C looks like an answer. Sales generally remained steady from 1997 to 2009, and that is absolutely not the case in the graph. So C is the answer. The table above shows some values of a linear function f. Which of the following defines f? So what we want to do is we want to figure out what this slope could be. So the change from 1 to 2 is a 3. It's a positive 3. And from 2 to 3 is a positive 3. And from 3 to 4 is a positive 3. So if I'm looking at a y is mx plus b, I know that my m is 3x. So I have y is 3x. Ultimately, it does eliminate those 3 answers. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and figure out what the b value was, I could. But at this point, I feel confident in saying C is the answer. At Lincoln High School, approximately 7% of enrolled juniors and 5% of enrolled seniors were inducted into the National Honor Society last year. If there were 562 juniors and 602 seniors enrolled at Lincoln High School last year, which of the following is closest to the total number of juniors and seniors at Lincoln High School last year who were inducted into the National Honor Society? So let's start by talking about juniors. Why not? There were 562 juniors, so 562. Now, when it came to juniors, 7%, so multiply that by 0.07. This is going to give us 39.34. I know we can't have a 0.34 of a person. That's okay. So if we talk about seniors, though, there are 602 seniors. 602 seniors, and we're looking at 5% of that, so times 6.05. This is going to give us 30.1. Add both of those together and we get 69.4, which is really B, 69. Which of the following is the sum of the two polynomials shown below? So 3x squared plus 5x squared is an 8x squared. Those two don't have an x squared, so we eliminate them. Negative 5x minus 2x is negative 7x. That eliminates B, leaving A as the answer. If 3 over 5w is equal to 4 over 3, what is the value of w? If 3 over 5w were equal to 4 over 3, what is the value of w? This means that w is equal to 4 over 3 times the inverse of 3 over 5, which is 5 over 3. Now 4 times 5 is 20 and 3 times 3 is 9, which gives us D is the answer. The average number of students per classroom at Central High School from 2000 to 2010 can be modeled with the expression y is equal to 0.56x plus 27.2, where x represents the number of years since 2000 and y represents the average number of students per classroom. Which of the following best describes the meaning of the 0.56 in the equations? So this is the part that I'm looking for. Let's think of this as the slope in the y is mx plus b. So if 0.56 is the slope, and we're talking about the change in students divided by the change in years, then the estimated increase in the average number of students per classroom each year. That gives us C as the answer. Nate walks 25 meters in 13.7 seconds. If he walks at the same rate, which of the following is the closest to the distance he'll walk in 4 minutes? So we know that we can say distance over time is going to give us our rate. Now this is going to be equal to x divided by, now we're going to say 60 times 4, because we're talking seconds into minutes. So we actually wind up with 25 times 60 times 4 divided by 13.7 is equal to x, which in this case is 437.956, which isn't really an answer, but 450 is B. For number 10 and 11, we're going to refer to the information given in this table. The chart above shows approximations of the acceleration due to gravity in meters per second squared for the 8 planets of our solar system. The weight of an object on a given planet can be found by using the formula W is equal to mg, where W is the weight of the object measured in newtons, m is the mass of the object measured in kilograms, and g is acceleration due to gravity on the planet measured in meters per second squared. What is the weight in newtons of an object on Mercury with a mass of 90 kilograms? So we're talking about Mercury, which has 3.6. So W would be equal to 3.6 times 90, which would give us 324. An object on Earth has a weight of 150 newtons. On which planet would the same object have an approximate weight of 170 newtons? So we understand that Earth is a 9.8, and what we're looking for is that E would be equal to meters per second times W. So 150 would be equal to 9.8 Earth times W, meaning that W would be approximately 15.31. With that 15.31, what we're going to do is say that E is the meters per second that we're trying to figure out times 15.31, the W. But now E, we already know from the problem, is 170. So 170 is equal to ms times 15.31, because we're really only trying to figure out the meters per second. We get 170 divided by 15.31, and this is approximately 11.1. This is the meters per second that we're looking for. This means that what we're looking at is Saturn at 11.31. If the function f has 5 distinctive zeros, which of the following could represent the complete graph of f in the xy plane? So we're talking about 5 distinct zeros. 0 is where it crosses the x-axis. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, can't be. 1, 2, 3, 4, can't be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, can't be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so D is the answer. The equation above shows the height h in feet of a ball t seconds after it is thrown straight up with an initial speed of v feet per second from a height of k feet. Which of the following gives v in terms of h, t, and k? So if I start with what's here, and what I really want to get is v by itself, which means I'm going to factor out the t, because it's actually going to let the v be kind of freestanding. This means I'm going to have h is equal to t times negative 16t plus v plus k. Now I can work to get v by itself by moving k to the other side to get h minus k is equal to t times negative 16t plus v. Divide that by t so that h minus k divided by t is equal to negative 16t plus v. Now add 16t to the other side so that h plus k divided by t plus 16t is equal to v. That gives me D is the answer. The cost of using a telephone in a hotel meeting room is 20 cents per minute. Which of the following equations represents the total cost C in dollars for H hours of phone use? Now we know that it is 20 cents per minute. We can start with the equation y is equal to mx plus b. Now, how much would it cost you to use the phone if you did not use it? Nothing. So the phone's existence doesn't cost you money. So we're left with simply a y is mx. Now, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Nice and simple stuff. So y would be equal to m times 60x. What is m? Well, 20 cents per minute. 0.20 times 60x. And of course, my variables are off here in what happened, but A is still the answer. In order to determine if treatment X is successful in improving eyesight, a research study was conducted from a large population of people with poor eyesight. 300 participants were selected at random. Half of the participants were randomly assigned to receive treatment X, and the other half did not receive treatment X. The resulting data shows that the participants who received treatment X had a significantly improved eyesight as compared to those who did not receive treatment X. Based on the design and result of the study, which of the following is an approximate conclusion? Treatment X is likely to improve the eyesight of the people who have poor eyesight. That seems rather logical. We can circle that as an answer. Treatment X improves eyesight better than other available treatments. Now, we didn't test other available treatments, so we can't go with that. Treatment X will improve the eyesight of anyone who takes it. Not everybody had improvement, so we can't really say that. And treatment X will cause substantial improvement in eyesight. And we just know that there is improvement, not that there's going to be substantial improvement. Graphs of the function f and g are shown in the xy plane above. For which of the following values of x does f of x plus g of x equal 0? Well, let's take a look at these centers here for just a second. I can see, just looking at this, that if I have f of negative 2, then I would have a 2. See, by counting backwards, 1, negative 2, 2. And I know that if I had g of negative 2, this would be equal to negative 2 by counting down 2. So just looking at those centers, this means that if I had f of negative 2 plus g of negative 2, I would have 2 plus a negative 2, which is 0. So for what x value? -2, B. And we're going to use these for 17 and 18 to refer to this information. The quantity of a product supplied and the quantity of a product demand in the economic market are functions of the price of the product. The function above are the estimate supply and demand functions for a certain product. The function S of P gives the quantity of the product supplied to the market when the price is P dollars, and the function D of P gives the quantity of the product demand by the market when the price is P dollars. How will the quantity of the product supplied to the market change if the price of the product is increased by $10? So we're going to use that S of P formula, but we're going to use S of P plus 10. Now, this would be equal to 1/2 P plus 10 plus 40. So we can go ahead and distribute that to get 1/2 P plus 5 plus 40, so that S of P plus 10 is equal to 1/2 P plus 45. Now we're in a place to really work through things. The quantity supplied will decrease by 5 units, and we're not really seeing that as what's happening, so it's not A. The quantity supplied will increase by 5 units, and that certainly shows what's going on. It looks like B. The quantity supplied will increase by 10 units, certainly not, and the quantity supplied will increase by 50 units, certainly not. At what point will the quantity of the product supplied to the market equal the quantity of the product demanded by the market? So this is asking the question, when will S of P equal D of P? This means 1/2 times P plus 40 is equal to 220 minus P. Solving for P now, I can add P to both sides to get 3 over 2P, subtract 40 from both sides, that's equal to 180, so that P is equal to 180 times 2 over 3, which means that P is 120 and B is your answer. Graphene, which is used in the manufacture of integrated circuits, is so thin that a sheet weighing 1 ounce can cover up to 7 football fields. If a football field has an area of approximately 1 1/3 acres, how many acres would 48 ounces of graphene cover? We know that 1 ounce will cover 7 football fields, and there's 48 ounces. So 48 times 7 would give us 336. That's how many football fields it would cover. But we want to know about acres. So we're going to take that 336 and multiply it by the 1 1/3 or 4/3 acres per field to get 448, and C, 450, is our closest answer.